Hi everyone, welcome to this week's video where I'll be testing out this Canon 100mm macro lens. Now it will obviously open up your world of macro photography where you can obviously zoom into things in fine detail, which is obviously the fun part of having a macro lens. So it'll give me a little bit more of a challenge really to kind of see an image and then obviously hopefully try and capture it. This time of year obviously there's thousands of leaves everywhere. Obviously we're kind of autumn into winter now. There's always fallen leaves and generally there's loads of obviously water droplets that just land and just kind of accumulate in little circles. Obviously you need a macro lens to try and capture that kind of detail. Yeah, I'm going to try and get into this and just capture some of those kind of really close, lovely water droplet type images for that kind of really fine detail. Yeah, I think X marks the spot on this this image. Just perfect kind of crossing over of two little bits of grass with a nice little bit of water droplet in it. Yeah, and I always think of photography like a fresh start really. Every time you go out for a new day of photography, you always think, what's going to happen today? Am I going to get something good? You may come back some days and not really get very much at all, but I think really you just never stop learning and you kind of always adjusting your settings to the conditions on the day. So using a macro lens like this was just obviously new territory for me. So if you are a macro specialist out there and you see some of these images, I'm sure you might see some flaws in it, but didn't always have the best conditions when I was out there shooting this video. And definitely learned some kind of other techniques I'd try, such as a tripod, having longer to actually shoot some of these images, better light and using some kind of reflections just to help kind of highlight some of these bits of detail that I did actually stumble across on this kind of photo walk. So yeah, plenty to learn from this one, but enjoyed it nonetheless. It was really, really good just to get out and try and kind of find some of these images. Yeah, and you can still get the kind of wider shots as well with this kind of lens, as well as obviously your macro. With it being 100mm, obviously you've got that range a little bit for those kind of wider kind of landscape shots. And there's an absolutely stunning light actually over across the other side of this banking really. So I'm going to try and kind of capture a little bit of this detail in the foreground and then just get this lovely colour in the background. So I'll just frame this up and see what I can do with it. Yeah, nice couple of images I think. And another learning that I found from using this lens, which is the Canon Macro 100mm, lovely lens, lots of detail in this one, was that actually it's quite difficult to always be far enough away from your subject. So there was a couple of instances in this video where I was trying to capture something a little bit wider, but actually I couldn't move my feet further back. I couldn't get into a position to get enough of the frame in. So prime lenses are obviously always going to be that kind of issue in the sense of if you've got, you know, a 50mm, it's going to be definitely different to shooting with a 100mm lens. And I've also got quite used to using a zoom lens. I'm just going to get it a second to show you. So this is the 24-105 lens, which I tend to use quite a lot of. And yeah, obviously as you can tell, you've got the zoom in there. Really good, but it's also quite a lazy lens because what I mean by that is you tend to, instead of moving towards your subject when you want to get closer, you just zoom in, which is probably bad practice because you're going to lose a lot of that kind of detail ultimately. So if you've got the option to get closer to that subject, definitely move your feet towards and don't zoom in on the lens because you will lose some quality in your image. I've just found this little section here that looks obviously like someone's just cut it and put it in the middle of this wood, but there's a nice little leaf on it. It's got a nice little bit of detail there, so I'm going to shoot that. It's only very, very small, as you can see the scale of the camera compared to it, but it's just got what I'm after really, which is the little water droplets on it. So I'm going to shoot that and yeah, see how it turns out. Yeah, I've had a lot of rain here recently. I can tell that the River Nid here is a lot higher than it was a couple of weeks ago. I'm not surprised because we had Storm Claudia from Spain with us a couple of days ago, and that certainly came down for, God, longer than 24 hours of rain, so it's really lifted all the riverbanks the last couple of days. Just starting to get that little bit darker now because the sky is just beautiful at the minute. So unfortunately not so good. Not enough sky, not enough pink blue sky. Needs to be about 50mm, unfortunately. Yeah, and I think if I had a choice as to which lens to take next time, if you are a photographer out there wondering kind of like about the macro lens, or you know how lenses kind of work out there in the field, what I'd probably say is it's just down to what kind of style of photography you're looking to capture ultimately. Because if you do want more close detail, kind of nature type shots with lots of detail, then you're definitely going to want to take a macro lens. But equally, if you're going to do something a bit wider, you need that flexibility with a zoom lens, and these tend to be obviously a lot better to have in the bag because you've just got more range, and it's just easier to be able to capture more options out there. But yeah, really enjoyed using that lens. The quality of this lens is superb, so I am tempted actually to go back out again and just try and do a few more kind of images, perhaps in better light with a tripod and with a bit more time, because I never seem to have enough time in the world. It's always so busy, isn't it? So I'm yeah, hopefully going to try this again at some point, and I might even do another video on it as well, to be fair. But yeah, the old trusty 24-105 is always the one that I tend to carry with me most of the time, for landscapes and street photography as well. So hopefully that's given you a bit of a tip going forward. You can see a little bit more colour that's left in the environment that I'm in. That's lovely. I've kind of shot images like this before, and it's quite nice to kind of capture it against the dark backgrounds. But yeah, lovely woodland, just very dark, and the light's gone now, so you never know, I might try for one more. That image at the end didn't quite work, but it was kind of probably the right idea, just not executed so well. So yeah, next time I should really take my tripod, because I think that was something that probably could have helped me actually overall in this video, which would have been to have spent that a little bit more time setting up a particular frame and a certain image, and then really being able to kind of maximise the settings on the camera. And yeah, I think my learnings really from doing this was freehand is very difficult to be doing this kind of close detail type shots. You just need to be so kind of careful with what you're doing, and also the light is really key, because you need to get good light into the camera. My ISO levels were quite high, probably too high really for this, and I was having to reduce down the f-stop quite a lot on the camera when I probably wanted it to be much kind of wider so I could get more detail into the images. But yeah, again, it's all a bit of a learn, isn't it? And I think I would do some things very differently the next time I go out with this kind of lens. So yeah, all good fun, all good learn, and I do generally think that that's a massive part, as I've said earlier in the video, is you never stop learning in photography, and different moments and different experiences teach you new good habits ultimately. So yeah, good little experiment, I think. Maybe I'll do another kind of macro style video in future where I can do a little bit more, and yeah, showcase a few more images that will probably do it a little bit more justice. So a good learn overall. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video until this point. I'm whittering on once again, but if you are still kind of watching to this point, thank you so much. I do generally really appreciate everyone who watches these videos, especially this far into a video, because yeah, time is so precious, isn't it? So it's yeah, really appreciated by me, so thank you very much, and hopefully you'll consider clicking on one of these links at the end for even more videos about street photography and landscapes. So yeah, take your pick and hopefully you enjoy them. Right, I'll see you guys pretty soon. Cheers and see you later.